Midday Friday trades are a thing.
They are.
Oh, yeah. It's ready. That dam is ready to burst.
Yep.
Because what did we get? We got the Josh Manson trade, and there was another one.
Jost.
Yeah, it's a small one, but it's that's the tremor before the full blown earthquake. For Drew, and also Patrick Kane.
I saw the people punching Patrick Kane into the Avalanche's lineup. I'm like, guys, calm down. Calm down, Avalanche fans. Producer Drew.
Yeah. Yo,
you can have Giroux, producer Drew. But you can't have Patrick Kane.
I knew Drew was in a meeting when that trade broke, so I was just like texting him.
Drew has been heavy on the Twitter lately.
Because
he's like aggressive on the Twitter.
Because he's anxious. He knows this is a big year for the Avs.
It felt like projection. That's what it feels like, producer Drew. It feels like with the Avs fans, it's like, this is really great. This is really great. I sure hope this works. Because this team was unstoppable last year.
Yeah.
They were unstoppable the year before. And I think a little bit the year before. But what happened each time?
No, Drew.
They were stopped.
Drew showed his hand yesterday. The Avs fans are not thinking this is really great. What they're thinking is it's not going to get better than this.
Oh.
And they're right. They got Kadri, final year. It's either this year or next year. Nathan MacKinnon's best contract in the league expires.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain the Strome Yost trade anyway? Like, what's that? Sturm, yeah. What's that do?
Yost has a higher ceiling and is younger than Sturm. Sturm is older, but they're both basically the same guy. Like in terms of where they fit in the lineup, like they're bottom line center basically.
Can I tell you the whole purpose of the contract?
Please do.
$1.275 million.
That's what it is.
They traded contracts.
So the Wild probably get the better player. Probably. And if he's not now, he's going to be. But he costs far more money.
Right.
So the Avs save money on the cap. I don't know what it...
So they can make another move.
Yeah. People are like, man, the Avs saved $1.2 million. No, they didn't. Because it's March.
Right.
They saved whatever the rest of the season.
Their deadline cap space is nearing $3 million. It's like 2.9. But since we're on Avs talk...
And Landeskog is on.
We have to talk about their shenanigans.
All right. Yeah.
Why not?
Gabe Landeskog is shenanigans. Are you kidding me? Dude. You're telling me he could have taken surgery in the offseason if he wanted to. If today was game one of the playoffs, he wouldn't have had surgery. He would have been out there playing.
Yes, but hockey players are out of their minds and they play with grotesque injuries all the time. I believe that he needed this surgery because hockey players are crazy people.
When did he need it?
Probably months ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
so why did they delay it till now so they could get some extra cap space and then he can come back for the playoffs?
Here's why I tend to, even though it's bullshit,
yes.
I will agree with you that it's bullshit, but it's justified bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's justified. A, Tampa did it and they won. B, Vegas is kind of a cautionary tale.
We're going to talk about Vegas.
That's a whole thing.
Well, put Mark... okay, this is all I'll say about it, but they put their captain on LTIR, and all of a sudden, like, they're maybe not going to make the friggin' playoffs here. But yeah, we'll get to them later. Landeskog, I believe.
You believe what?
I believe that he's a hockey player with messed up knees.
Yeah, I believe that too. I believe he needs surgery. And it's very convenient timing. And it's not a point on the Colorado Avalanche for they didn't break any rules for taking advantage of the rules. It's on the NHL for creating dumb rules. This is another example of the ridiculousness of how the cap is structured and how having guys injured is advantageous to your team if the guys come back and just play.
It's only advantageous. Here's the thing. I think it creates disparity because
it does.
It favors the good teams.
Yep.
Bad teams can't afford to do this.
Yeah.
Good teams can because the Avs are, Gabriel Landeskog is a fantastic player and he's the team's captain and they're barely going to miss him because they're that good and they're that deep. Other
Is he going to
teams
be
can't
back
afford
though?
to do
He's
that.
coming back, right?
They don't have
Like,
an exact date
It's
or
like
timetable,
arthroscopic
but
probably, so it's not going to like open up his knee and
yeah,
full rehab.
they
and all
think
that.
he'll
Okay.
be there for the playoffs.
I'm just trying to make sure that people know that because like knee surgery can mean a lot of different things. Right.
Right. Yeah. Could be like PCL and career shortening.
Yeah,
or
totally.
It could be like
The
scope.
it needs to be on number one on the list when they renegotiate the CBA is to fix this because it's getting ridiculous to the way we're looking at
So-
guys going out for injuries and timing them perfectly so that you get a cap advantage.
At a certain point, a luxury tax makes a lot more sense, doesn't it?
Well, like why?
Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And
Because it already exists. It exists for the rich teams.
like just to put it into context, what if the Leafs were just like, yeah, Peter Mrazek's hurt
Mm-hmm.
for the next 2 years, and then they can just like we're talking about teams acquiring Shea Weber's contract, like it's an awesome idea. Like there should be no scenario, whether it's for the rich teams or the poor teams, where we're like, it's great this team is acquiring this player who does not play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense. And why the better the player, the greater the benefit?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Kucherov makes 9.5, and the Lightning go, hell yeah. Our MVP's out. Lots we can do with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think if you're deep, you can. But I'm with you, Jesse. I think there needs to be a fix. But I would also say that the rich teams who control the league do not want this to be fixed because it's a cheat code.
Yep.
See, is it the rich teams or is it because like I thought the teams in charge are the cheap ones?
At least they all spend to the cap, though.
Yeah, but Jeremy Jacobs is cheap. He doesn't want to spend above the cap. You know what I mean?
But he does. Montreal does. Toronto does. New
not
York
that far.
does. Not that far. Okay, that's one team. There's an executive
Yeah, I
of
guess
8
you're right.
teams. Jeremy Jacobs, despite Jeremy Jacobs' iron fist, we do know that he can be outvoted.
Yeah, real life Mr. Burns.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And for just clarification on Joe Sakic's dealings, he has not utilized the LTIR on Landeskog just yet. He hasn't utilized it for Gerard either. Like he has those both guys, and he can throw them both on LTIR and get about $12 million in cap space if they stay out till the playoffs.
That's real bad news on Gerard, by the way.
Oh yeah, but he's gonna be back. His timetable is before the playoffs, so that's why they're not doing shenanigans with him.
Back injury.
Yeah.
That's you know what it reminds me of? Gardner.
Oh,
Like he'll be
Yeah.
back, but how back will he be?
For the rest of his career, because it's a back injury.
Not necessarily for the rest of his career, but definitely this season you can expect a suboptimal Sam Girard.
I have a friend named Steve Dangle who has back injuries, and I don't expect him to return to the NHL anytime soon.
Do you know how hard I've worked to get my back to be somewhat adequate? Like, holy shit, man. I can't imagine. I don't know how you play hockey with a bad back.
it's the way
Yeah.
of carrying a whole network on your back. You know?
Anyway, so
I had such a good workout yesterday. I'm real sore.
Landeskog isn't on the LTIR just yet. He might be very soon, but he's not there yet. And if they do, they can get like $7 million for him just to use the Cavs for the deadline.
Wouldn't be the first time I was wrong on Landeskog this week. It said he was going to get fined, and then he did not.
Mhm.